What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the TDF mob channel. TDF standing for tireless, deft, finesse. Of course, this channel is geared towards the so-called black man, not just in America, but all over the world. Alright, let's get right to it. Now, recently I started thinking about this old show I used to watch like when I was a little kid, back in the day. Back when times were much simpler, There was no COVID-19. We weren't getting inundated with all this LGBTQ bullshit on the news, in the media, in the schools. At least not as much as we do now. Times seemed relatively simpler. Now, back in the day, I used to watch this show called Naruto. Now, for those of y'all that are unfamiliar with the show, it was an anime show. I was watching some anime here and there. Anyway, in that show, they had a character in there by the name of Sasuke Uchiha. And that's who I just randomly started thinking about the other day. And it cracked me up, man. From the time they first introduced this character, he's just focused, he's extremely serious, and he's extremely ambitious. And essentially, the world of Naruto, it revolved around ninjas and good and evil. You got your good ninjas, your bad ninjas. You got different villages, and that's essentially all there is to it, right? But now this character of Sasuke, he's from a particular clan in a village, the Leaf Village. Okay. Now his clan gets wiped out, gets murdered, slaughtered by his older brother. And then his older brother goes rogue. He leaves the village. The Leaf Village. That's the village that Naruto and all. That's the village that the show takes place in for the most part. That's Naruto's home. So yeah, Sasuke's older brother, by the name of Itachi, murdered the whole clan, wiped them all out, left Sasuke alive, and dipped. Okay. So now when they first introduce Sasuke, he's very, very focused, very, very serious. He doesn't seem to have a sense of humor. He really just seems like an asshole, honestly. He calls Naruto a loser a lot. He doesn't have a very inviting energy to him, right? What I'm getting at is he's ambitious. Okay, he has drive, he has focus. Okay, and his whole focus, his whole drive is to kill his older brother and avenge his clan. So that's his purpose, right? He's decided that that's what his purpose is. His purpose is to avenge his clan. So his vision is to kill his older brother. So he's plotting and scheming to kill his older brother. And it's pretty simple. Just get enough power, work on my skill set enough, and go find him and kill him. Okay. Reason why I'm thinking about all this shit, this cartoon character, is because I just started relating that shit to my life, right? Do I have the level of ambition, drive, focus, and perseverance that this 13 or 14-year-old cartoon character had? Just as a so-called black man, right? And I'm asking y'all this question. Do you guys know what your purpose is? Do you have a vision for yourself? Now, fast forward, Sasuke actually runs into his older brother, that being Itachi. And he figures, okay, Now's my chance. Now's my time to get him, remove him from existence, and avenge the clan. He gets his ass whooped. Matter of fact, he doesn't get his ass whooped. He gets his ass destroyed, decimated. Okay? And while he's getting his ass whooped, he's asking himself, what have I been doing all these years? See, he spent all the years in the Leaf Village. He thought that was the environment for him. That was the environment that was going to nurture him and build him up to where he needed to get to fulfill his vision or his goal. Or really, no, his vision. Okay? When he's finally presented an opportunity to fight his older brother, to kill his older brother, he fails miserably. As a matter of fact, his older brother, Itachi, puts him into a coma. Okay? Now keep in mind, at this time, Sasuke, who's always had a rivalry with the main character of the show, Naruto, is beginning to become aware of an immense amount of growth in Naruto. Okay? He's beginning to recognize Naruto's power, or at least a little bit of his power. He's beginning to recognize that, this guy's cold, this guy's potent. So when he runs into Itachi, let me throw this in there. Itachi whooped his ass in front of Naruto. And before all this happened, Naruto had ended up saving Sasuke. So you see what I'm getting at? Sasuke is now put in a position where he has to begin to accept and to realize that the environment that he is in is not conducive to his vision. It's not conducive to his purpose. So he's in this coma, and he's in this coma for a while. As a matter of fact, he got his ass whooped so bad. Oh man, let me go ahead and throw this in there. Itachi, his older brother, had whooped Sasuke's mentor's ass, Kakashi. So Itachi pulled up in the village, beat Kakashi's ass, put him in a coma. Then Sasuke went and found him and got his ass whooped too. So your mentor, or his mentor, couldn't get the job done, right? So fast forward, Naruto ends up having to go out with a mentor of his, and to go find a specific someone who had the healing capabilities to bring Sasuke out of his coma. So they go and get this person. This person ends up becoming the new leader of the village. And Sasuke wakes up, right? Now this is what's interesting. This is what my main point is about, right? Or what was cracking me up. The nigga Sasuke wakes up. He's quiet as hell. He's not saying shit. He's just thinking, right? Like, nigga, I just ran into this nigga and got my ass whooped. It wasn't even a fight. And then this nigga Naruto is getting stronger. He's getting more powerful. He's getting cocky, right? So his resolve is, all right, let me fight Naruto. Let's fight. Naruto at first is like, man, he's hesitating. He's like, man, you're in the hospital. What the fuck you want to fight for? What's your problem? But he ends up relenting and deciding, okay, fuck it, let's fight. So they go upstairs to the roof of the hospital and they fighting it out. Kakashi breaks it up, and right before Kakashi broke the fight up, they both end up using their most powerful moves up to that point, right? Naruto uses this shit called Rasengan. Sasuke uses some shit that Kakashi taught him called Chidori. And they about to use it on each other, you know what I'm saying? Run up on each other and combine that shit. It'd be like an explosion or some shit, right? Kakashi grabs both of their arms and throws them at these water tanks. So Sasuke hits one water tank. Naruto hits the other water tank. Now, where Sasuke got thrown, or was where he ended up at the back or behind the 2 water tanks, okay? So he can see the damage that each technique caused. So he's looking at his. He's looking at his tank and he's like, yeah, I made a hole in this shit, right? Naruto's damage from the front of his tank, there's relatively no damage. It's just a small little hole. So Sasuke gets cocky, start laughing and shit, right? Well, when he walks to the back, he sees just the back of the water tank is just completely out. Okay. And it pisses him off. Alright? And you gotta be wondering what was going on in this nigga's mind. Like, he's already said it, or at least thought it. We've seen the character thinking this shit. What have I been doing all these years? What's been going on? What is this? Have I not been training? So then for him to finally fight this nigga, and for him to realize that my strongest technique ain't shit compared to his technique. Fast forward some more. This nigga, I'm sure you guessed it, this nigga leaves the village. Literally, I think it was the same day. The same day he fought Naruto, the nigga left the village. In other words, he tapped out. The same day. Of course, he had a little bit more convincing from some niggas that got sent from another village to come recruit him, but fuck all that. That nigga made the mental decision. He tapped out. He tapped out on the Leaf Village. He realized, yo, these guys aren't gonna get me to the level necessary for me to fulfill my purpose. So why the fuck would I stay here? And it cracks me up that a 13 or 14-year-old kid could just jump to that conclusion and act on it. He grabbed his shit, packed his shit up, and left that night. I mean, he was out of that coma, not even 2 days, maybe just a day. I think it was that same day. He woke up, fought Naruto, that night he was out. And this is the level of drive, focus, and ambition that I believe the so-called black men, all of us so-called black men, we need to have, right? A lot of us find ourselves in these positions, in these situations, in these dynamics where our growth is so stunted. It's low-key retarded. Like our growth is retarded. We're going backwards. And it's important that whatever situation that you're in, you have your overall purpose and your vision in mind. You have it planned out, written down. You know exactly why you're there, exactly what you're doing there, and that you're making enough growth to push you forward, to push you towards actualizing your vision. And if that's not the case, you realize, hey, this environment that I'm in, I'm just putting up with racist ass people, and I'm not making any growth. I'm not taking any steps towards my destiny, steps towards fulfilling my purpose. When you realize that's the case, you gotta do what that 14-year-old nigga did in Naruto. Tap out. You know, and I know that phrase is conventionally used for giving up, you know. And no, this TDF shit is not about giving up. It's about knowing when to give up. If you're someone that's in corporate America or whatever job, and you still have the mindset of I can prove or I can show that I'm different, or I can show that black people are more than X, Y, and Z or A, B, and C. If that's your mindset, brother, it's time for you to tap out. It's time for you to give up on that shit. You can't change people's minds. If somebody has it in their mind that you're lazy, that you don't want to work, that you don't like work, it is what it is. No matter how hard you work, no matter how cooperative you are with them, they're always going to resort back to the stereotype. Trust me, I know. Where I'm at right now at the electrical company, me and my brother are putting in 60 plus hours. We've been doing that shit the last month or so. 60 plus hours. I'm in the warehouse, he's out there in the field. They hold me, they took me out the field and put me in the warehouse and told me they needed help. Excuse me, they needed help in the warehouse, right? So I've been in the warehouse, I think a little over a year now. But I have my purpose in mind. I have my vision in mind, right? We're here to get our licenses. So long as we're at an electric company for 4,000 hours, which is 2 years, we can go and we can test for our wireman's licenses. And then from there, if we decide to move to another company, we can do that, or we can make the demands at this company and let them know, hey, this is what we're trying to do here. Either way, we'll be in a power position because we have the licenses, which most people, for whatever reason, don't want to get, or they get that first one, that being the wireman's license, and they don't want to get nothing else. They settle. So that's why I'm dealing with all the bullshit that I'm dealing with right now. This is not a situation in which I should tap out. Because if I tap out, now we gotta go, or I gotta go and beg some other company to allow me to, work with them or work for them, and give me a shot and to invest in me and blah 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 blah. And it's still gonna be bullshit. Anywhere you go, any place you work, there's gonna be bullshit there. So I've decided, all right, fuck it. I guess I'll play humble. Take everything one day at a time. And what's interesting is so many people are trying to get me out of there. But let's go back to SASUKE. Okay? Let's go back. SASUKE was willing to stay in the Leaf Village so long as he believed that the village had the resources necessary to elevate him to a level where he would be able to fulfill his purpose. That's interesting, right? So the guy that you would have thought was kind of just an asshole, too serious for no reason, blah, 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 right? He actually has the best outlook on life. Minus the wanting to kill your brother shit and, all that. But if we're talking strictly in terms of having a purpose, having a vision, and sticking to it, that character was cold. And honestly, Naruto had the same shit going on for him too, where he had a vision and a purpose that he ended up accomplishing. But this video isn't about Naruto, it's about Sasuke. And brothers, especially us younger brothers, I feel like when we watch these shows, or when we reflect on shows that we watched growing up, or if you're still watching these type of shows, there's wisdom in everything. Just peep game, finesse accordingly, of course. But really reflect, really think about these characters. I randomly started thinking about this character. I'm like, wow. As soon as he realized he was not gonna reach the level he needed to reach to kill his older brother, he dipped that night, all in one day. He grabbed his shit and left. Brothers, we gotta know when to grab our shit and leave. We gotta know when to tap out. If you know you're not passionate about a particular career that you're in or job that you're in, you have no passion for it, it needs to still somehow feed into your overall vision for yourself. As long as what you're doing fits into your vision, you're good. Whether that be picking up trash, whether that be working at McDonald's, Taco Bell, being a valet runner, working at the grocery store, whatever it is, if it feeds into your vision, if it's a part of your overall plan, you're good. So now if you don't have a plan, you're in deep, deep shit. Because when you're putting up with the bullshit, when you're putting up with the racism, what do you have to fall back on mentally? What do you have to think about that'll keep you humble? Absolutely nothing. You don't have a vision. You don't have a purpose. You don't have a plan. So it's easy for anybody to get into your head so long as they're persistent. Where I'm at now, I'm at a point where it's funny because I'm aware of multiple individuals actively working to get me fired, to get me removed. But because I have a vision for myself, because I have a plan for myself, because I know my purpose, these niggas just can't make me mad. And when I say niggas, I'm not even talking about no so-called black people up there. I'm talking about some white boys and some Mexicans. Mainly Mexicans that are playing all these games and shit. But like I said, I'm a brother that has his vision together. I have my purpose in mind. So I'm not gonna give this up because a couple of people are being quote unquote racist. You know when to tap out, know when to humble yourself. There is no job, and I didn't understand this when I was, just a few years ago, when I was hopping from job to job. I really thought that there was a job out there where everybody was gonna, treat me with respect, and it wasn't gonna be as much bullshit, and I could, elevate within that job. No, all that is bullshit. So long as you're a so-called black man in this world, in this life, and you have to defer to or work for a non-so-called black person, you're gonna be dealing with a whole bunch of bullshit. Understand that. So that needs to be motivation for us, brothers, to boss up and get our own shit on some TDF shit. Don't settle for what this cracker's selling you. Don't settle for what these Mexicans got. Don't settle for what these Asian niggas is cooking up. Fuck all that. Cook up your own shit. What does that nigga Kwame Brown say? My mama's cooking, right? Yeah, use that shit. Mama's cooking. And that's all I had to say on this topic, y'all. Y'all be easy. Y'all be safe out there. And I'm out.